Times like this, the American people expect their leaders to sit down and have a conversation. I want that conversation to occur now. What the president said today was, if there's unconditional surrender by Republicans, he'll sit down and talk to us. That's not the way our government works.
Reopen the government, extend the debt ceiling. If they can't do it for a long time, do it for the period of time in which these negotiations are taking place. They can attach some process to that that gives them some certainty that, in fact, the things they're concerned about will be topics of negotiation. If my word's not good enough, but I've told them I'm happy to talk about it.
Charles, it looks like, or it sounded like, there was the beginning of an exit ramp, that the president was saying, yes, he said, I'll agree to a short term, even very short term, to talk and do this negotiation.
I think he had to. I think that the dynamic here is clear. He wins on the shutdown of the government. He loses on the debt ceiling, and he is really afraid of that debt ceiling. He says he won't bend on this. Of course he'll have to at the 11th hour. He can't afford to be remembered as the first president who defaulted or allowed, a condition in which it can happen. So I think what he did, and what we just heard in that soundbite, was he pointed to an exit ramp for the speaker. He basically says, well, I said I won't negotiate while the debt ceiling's hanging over us, so you give me a 3-week extension. Boehner has said, I won't give in on this and give him a clean extension. So it won't be a clean extension of the debt ceiling. It'll be, I'll give you 3 weeks, but you got to give me a committee. He told how he wants it structured, 20 members. I'll give you the agenda. It'll be attached. So it will be a conditional extension. I think the president, he gets away and he finesses it. Boehner will finesse it. Now, whether it'll succeed or not, I have no idea. We know what happened the last time around. They had a super committee which didn't succeed. But that's the way in which you avoid the catastrophe from the president's perspective, and where you get what Boehner has said, all I want is negotiation, he would get it.
When it comes to the debt limit, I agree with the president. We should pay our bills. I didn't come here to shut down the government. I certainly didn't come here to default on our debt. But when it comes to the debt limit, again, over the last 40 years, 27 times the debt limit has been used to carry significant policy changes that would, in fact, reduce spending and put us on a saner fiscal path. We can't raise the debt ceiling without doing something about what's driving us to borrow more money and to live beyond our means.
Those words are appealing to a lot of Republicans, there are a lot of conservatives, and a lot of moderates, and frankly, a lot of Democrats.
I think that's the winning idea. He's got the upper hand on the debt ceiling, and I think, and especially as you showed in the polls, the majority of Americans wouldn't even raise it in the absence of a deal. So it isn't as if, holding the line is something that the president is going to be able to do, and he can't allow it to happen. So I think, and look, Boehner has said, he didn't outline what he wants as a conclusion. He didn't say, I have to have a Bowles-Simpson commission that's going to end on its day with the following result and resolving X, Y, and Z. He just said, I want to talk. He said there's nothing on the table, which is an odd statement, and there's nothing off the table.
There is no table.
There isn't a table? There aren't even any chairs. I'm not even sure the room exists. All he wants to do is to appoint a committee, and he'll decide between now and then the agenda, a short extension which allows him to say this wasn't a cave at all. This is simply like when you have a union negotiation and you hit to midnight, you extend it for a couple of hours, and we're going to get negotiations on, he'll spell it out, X, Y, and Z. There's not going to be a guarantee of a result, but at least the situation he's in now, which is a losing one. The polls have showed 70% blame the GOP and only 50% of the president. It gets him out of that and into new ground.
As I said, it's always a tough vote. People don't like doing it, although it has been done 45 times since Ronald Reagan took office. Nobody in the past has ever seriously threatened to breach the debt ceiling until the last 2 years. And this is the creditworthiness of the United States that we're talking about. This is our word. This is our good name. This is real.
How many have signed up thus far?
Fully enrolled? I can't tell you because I don't know. We are taking applications on the web, on the phone. We'll be giving monthly reports, but I can tell you we've had not only lots of web hits, hundreds of thousands of accounts created. We have
So it's been hundreds of thousands of people have signed up.
Of accounts created, which means that then they're going to go shopping.
And what I'm saying is, going forward, these people still say, listen, this thing is bad. And that's what their fight is about.
I'll tell you how bad it is. I mean, Sebelius wouldn't answer how many have signed, because we all know it's a pathetic number and they won't say it. Look, on computers you would know exactly hour by hour. The Washington Post had a story on Maryland, which is the state that is sort of the poster child of states that had prepared, was ready to go, had this thing, and they reported that in the first week, first 4 days, they signed up 100 people. That is a catastrophe, and that's why there's nobody in the administration who will give a number, and they all pretend we're just not sure what the number is. They know.
This has been a Sunfish production.